Hey, good morning. So this one says the rope is zip line between two parallel trees. The rope is taut, forming a straight line. What is the measure of angle 2? So if we look at those two angles, so they are inside, okay, so they are consecutive. Interior angles because they are on the same side inside. So we're going to add those two together. So 72 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 180. So we subtract 72 minus 180. So we get 108. So the measure of angle 2 is 108 degrees. That's fun. A sailor sees a lighthouse at a 50-degree angle of elevation. So elevation numbers, we're looking up. We'll be looking up from down here. The measure of angle 2 is 55 degrees. What's the measure of angle 2? So if angle 2 is 55, okay, they're on opposite sides in between those two parallel lines. So this is also going to be, so they're alternate interior angles. Remember that means opposite inside. So the measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 2. The measure of the angle 2 is 55 degrees. Okay, so this one, so a pilot sees the island at a 70-degree angle of depression. So that everybody remembers depression means that he's looking down, okay, from the horizontal. So if this is 70, that means that they're alternate interior angles. They're on opposite sides of this transversal. So alternate interior angles. So that means that they're congruent. So that means the measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 2. So the measure of angle 2 is equal to 70 degrees. Okay, find the value of x, state which theorem you use. So these ones are for number 1. So they are going to be, for our x values, they are alternate exterior angles. They're outside and on opposite sides of the transversal, so I set them equal to each other. Subtract 3x from each side, so I get 2x minus 64, add 64 to each side, divide by 2. I'm going to use my reflexive property to rewrite it so it's x is equal to 32. Okay, now I can use that to figure out what we're going to do for the next one. So to figure out y, I'm going to substitute in. So I'm going to substitute in here. I'll write it up here just for room. So 5 times 32 minus 64 plus y. Just notice they are a linear pair. They're next to each other. Is equal to 180. I go ahead and solve that. I just want to have room, everybody. So I'm going to set that equal, y is equal to 84. Okay. So y is equal to 84 degrees. Okay, this one, we're going to do the same thing. So remember alternate exterior angles. So these are alternate exterior. So that means that the measure of angle x is also 68 degrees because they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, and then for these two, they are a linear pair. They are next to each other. So y plus 86 is equal to 180. This is for number 2. So it's going to be y, so 180 minus 86 is going to be equal to 94. Okay, this next one, everybody, so we're doing the same thing. So these are corresponding. Remember, same side, skip 1. So same side of the transversal. So I'm going to set those two equal to each other. So 3x minus 4 is equal to 59. Add 4 to each side. So I get 63. And I go ahead and divide. So 63 divided by 3 is going to be 21. Okay, and then with these two, so these are vertical. Okay, so these ones were corresponding for the x values. Okay, and then these other ones are vertical for y. So 2y is equal to 59. I divide 59 by 2, and I get 29 and 5/10. So remember, we can get decimals and we can get negative answers. And these next ones, everybody. So this one, I'm gonna use corresponding angles on this. So if this is 90 degrees, that means that this is also 90. So we want to know what makes M parallel to M. So if, remember, 90 degrees plus 90 degrees is equal to 180, which means that this is also 90 degrees. So I'm going to go 6x minus 6 is equal to 90. Add 6 to each side. And then I divide 96 by 6. Oh, that's 16. 96 by 16 to get 6. Okay. These ones, everybody. So these are going to be corresponding. Do you see that same side skip one? Okay, so we set those two equal to each other. So these two are corresponding. So I'm going to add 10x to each side. So remember, what we do unto one side must do to the other side. So I'm going to get 2x, bring down the 4, bring down that 10. I'm going to add 4 to each side. I get 2x is equal to 14x. Divide each side by 2. And I get x is equal to 7. Okay, next one, everybody. So these are alternate exterior. And I know that because they're on opposite sides of the transversal and they're both outside. So they're outside like that. And set them equal to each other. Remember, alternate exterior are congruent. Subtract the 5x from each side. Bring down that 30. And then I divide each side by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 30 divided by 2 is going to be 15. Okay, so this one, decide which line. Okay, so this one, ln, natural logs. Okay, so L is parallel to N because the two lines intersect. To make a linear pair of congruent angles. So what that's just saying is that this is a linear pair. So if you look right here, so this is going to be 90 and these are also 90. And then we go by corresponding angles. If this is 90 degrees, and then remember, everybody, 90 degrees plus 90 degrees is equal to 180. Okay. So on these ones, I can use consecutive. L is parallel to M because 60 degrees plus 120 is equal to 180 degrees, which means that they are consecutive. So these angles right here are consecutive inside. So these ones right here, consecutive interior. So consecutive, so same side, inside. And the angles that are congruent, everybody. So that would be our alternate interior and exterior angles. vertical and corresponding. Ones that are supplementary, so our consecutive, interior, and exterior, and our linear pairs. Remember, our linear pairs are next to each other. Okay, find the value that makes m parallel to n. So for these two, this is 90. I'm going to use corresponding angles. Right, so then that's 90. Remember we just said, so 90 degrees plus 90 degrees is going to be 180. So that means that this is also 90 degrees. So this that 2x is equal to 90. Half of 90 is 45. Okay, these ones are going to be consecutive interior. They're on the same side inside. So those ones we set equal to 180. Okay, so we're going to combine like terms. So I'm going to add the x's and I'm going to add the numbers. So 3x plus x is 4x. 47 plus 7 is 54. I subtract 180 minus 54. Get 126. 126 divided by 4 is 31.5. Remember, everybody, we can get decimals. Okay. And then on the next one, so number 13, they are alternate exterior angles. So for this one, everybody, so they are congruent. So I'm going to set them equal to each other. So I'm going to go 5x is equal to 2x plus 78. I'm going to subtract 2x from each side to get 3x. It's equal to 78. And then I divide each side by 3 to get 26. Okay, the last one is our proof. Okay, so we do our statements and our reasons. Remember, we always start with our given. So we're given that line L is parallel to line M. Okay, and I need to end up with that 1 is angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. So I'm going to use 1 and 3. I'm going to start with these angles. So angle 4 is congruent to angle 3 because they are vertical angles. They're vertical angle congruence there. And then, so this is a 4. And then we know that 3 and 1 are congruent. So angle 3 is congruent to angle 1 because they are corresponding angle congruence theorem. And now we can do the proof. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 4 because angle 4 is congruent to angle 3 and 3 is congruent to angle 1. So remember that is going to be our transitive property. We are all done.